Actually, this one's pretty easy for me. These property series, as I said, are to give you little tips and tricks. So I'm just going to be approaching this more from what should we do, what I have done differently on a brand new build. Like I like to randomly open drawers, right? Because you've got, again, somebody just moved out. Now we as a property management company have to wonder, where is this from? Flat top ranges, they scratch. Like this one's actually in really good shape. The tenant actually just moved out. And I'm actually shocked that this looks so good. These are notorious for scratching. They're horrible for rentals. I know it doesn't look as good. I would almost always go with coil top. And then you're wondering, what are these? So this would be the clean out. But here's the thing. We can't even close it. It probably would have been acceptable. And now you have a tripping hazard. It's really weird. I see a Q-tip in there. I think just a few things that I would mention, but other than that, really, really solid build, solid quality, and very few mistakes. All right, property walkthrough today. Sunny day, beautiful. And we have, actually this one's pretty easy for me. Already walked through. These property series, as I said, are to give you little tips and tricks. However, as you can see, and this is a relatively new build. It's actually done by a family who are builders. So the attention to detail is really, really nice here. So I'm just going to be approaching this more from what should we do, what I have done differently on a brand new build. I will say, when you approach a property and you know it's vacant and this one just hit the market, things like mail, make sure that you're taking it in and you're just leaving it like this. Otherwise, you're going to find that people are going to see it's going to pile up, and it's kind of like a beacon to say, hey, this is a vacant property. So let's go in and we'll show you this new build. All right, so a little echoey in here, but hopefully you guys can hear me okay. We have it's really, really nice, a living room area, maybe a kind of a dining room area, and then an open concept kitchen. You can see that they have quartz countertops, stainless appliances, got a dishwasher on this side. So what I will say is, let's deal with the counters first. Great choice. Quartz countertops, I would say, are my number one choice for a few reasons. Number one, if you're talking about laminate countertops, they can burn, you can a whole bunch of different things that can happen there. If you're talking granite, granite is great, it's heat resistant, but when you get a chip out of it, you're kind of, it's very, very hard to repair. Quartz, however, is a man-made product. It's reasonably priced, and you can actually patch it. So, you know, arguably it's going to last a long time. So if I'm doing any of my own units, I always go with quartz over even Home Depot laminate, because like people, again, you can't control it. And yes, that's part of the security deposit, but they're going to be cutting meat, cheese, whatever on that laminate countertop, and now it's ruined. And now you've got thousands of dollars, as opposed to even if somebody drops something on here, you can still repair it. The other thing that I would, however, say not to do is a flat top range, okay? On a rental, now this is fine if you're doing build to flip or you're renovating, I wouldn't change anything. But flat top ranges, they scratch. Like this one's actually in really good shape. The tenant actually just moved out, and I'm actually shocked that this looks so good. These are notorious for scratching. They're horrible for rentals. And again, you know, you've got a $2,000 stove, a $1,500 deposit, and maybe the tenant didn't pay their water bill or they didn't clean. How are you going to hold them responsible for this? So for me, I know it doesn't look as good. I would almost always go with coil top for a rental property. And I mean, it doesn't have to be like a white builder grade coil top. You can get stainless, you can get black appliances with coil top. When those things also break, and they will, coil tops are super easy. You can go to Home Depot and you can change out those elements. Here, now you're dealing with specialists that have to come in. I mean, you can just imagine trying to get at the elements here, okay? Not to mention the scratches. Really, really nice. I mean, obviously, this place is a couple of years old. Tile backsplash, also a good choice. You know, you have to worry about maybe putting sealant on the grout, but everything else here, they did a really good choice. Okay, well, We've got some some things in here. Like I like to randomly open drawers, right? Because you've got, again, somebody just moved out. Now we as a property management company have to wonder, where is this from? Now, is it hardware? Is it from, I don't know, but the new people are going to be coming in and going, what am I doing with this, right? So my guess is this was probably left over from the builder, and then the tenants who lived here, who we didn't choose, by the way, probably didn't say anything and they just kind of left it there, but it doesn't make a good impression, right? I don't know what else I'm going to find in here. Okay, so manuals. So here's another thing. So this is great in theory. You've got all the manuals, and you can see, like, these people have lived here for a couple of years. You've got the dryer, dishwasher, dryer, refrigerator. That's all great. But what are you as the owner hoping to get from leaving the manuals here? After 3, 4, 5 tenants, are they going to be here? Now, in this day and age, I mean, all of these are available on PDF online, so I don't know that I'd necessarily leave it here. If you have specific instructions for your tenant, a lot of people are just like, oh, well, the instructions are there, and then when the tenant doesn't do what they're supposed to, so for example, let's say in this fridge, I think I just saw that here, like this one, maybe it has ice and water, who knows, maybe it says in here that you have to flush out the filter every month. I'm not sure, right? And so I think it's unreasonable to throw this in a drawer and expect the tenant to go and do all of those things. And then even if you put it in the lease, they don't do it, now you have to go after them for something. So I'd like to even keep it easier. So what I like to do for anything customized in a rental property, and that could be furnace filters, it could be that you lived in the house and you know the back door sticks in the winter and summer. Obviously, that's an extreme example. You have to fix it. What I like to do is print out something, laminate it at Staples or Office Depot, and then tape it to the inside of one of the kitchen cabinets. That can be any customized thing that you have, any little nuance, any little thing that has to happen with that unit, and you put it there, and then it's semi-permanent, okay? All right, so this is a really nice room here. I don't really have a lot to say about it. And we do have some holes on the wall here, which is pretty obvious. Now, this person just moved out. And to me, obviously, this is now a TV bracket, a wall bracket. So the question is, we as a property manager, you as the property owner, somebody moves out, are you holding them responsible for this? Or do you say, well, it kind of makes sense that somebody's going to be putting a TV here. Maybe you put an inclusion in your lease that this will be forgiven. However, these holes, who knows how many more holes this is going to be, and this is quite low, you know, for a TV. So that might be something that should be discussed maybe ahead of time, or what I would do for what these things cost, I would put a TV bracket here and mount it. And so you kind of force the tenants to have a certain size TV, and then all they have to do is screw their TV to the bracket. So that's another tip that I would have. Things like picture hangers, got one over there, got one over here, a nail over here. I mean, depending where you are, your state, your province, they say what's reasonable wear and tear, okay? So if we were to say, well, these 2 nail holes, these 4, means we have to repaint the wall, and the wall is going to be $1,000 or $500 for a contractor to come in, is that reasonable to expect to hold the tenant responsible? At least here in Manitoba, it wouldn't be. They actually allow for that. But there are some management companies that charge you so much per nail hole, $15, $20 per nail hole, because they say that this can be patched. What I would say is keep your paint colors. Some people, I'll be going into the storage area over there, some people will keep paint here and say, okay, well, we're going to do that next time. But paint doesn't really last. What I would do is keep your paint colors in a database somewhere with this property. Now, if you're running it on QuickBooks, that's great. You could have it on Google Sheets, no problem. But keep those paint swatches and those colors and the brand names so that you can go and get the paint later. And then you could, depending how much sun has been in there, spot paint these types of things. The other thing to consider, though, is this strategically a good place for a picture? And if you think it is, and throughout the apartment we do see strategically, then I would say you could leave it and then hope that the tenants are going to do that again. But at some point you might have somebody who moves it down, so you just have to have that on your condition report. Now we do have a nice deck out here. Again, the only thing that I would say here is old rusty table. Is it from the old tenant? Maybe it was left here by the tenant before that. There has to be an expectation. And I think I had done a video a couple episodes ago where anything that is included during a showing or seen during a showing could be implied, depending on your state or province, to be included in the tenancy. So we do have to have an answer for that. So we'll be speaking to the investors. Okay. So stepping back in, let's deal with the mechanical room. Okay, so we've got this mechanical room over here. Now you can see the quality of the build here is very, very high, right? I mean, we've got nice organized breaker panel, 100 amps. Everything is very, very nicely labeled. We've got a gas furnace. So for those of you who are wondering what a gas furnace looks like compared to electrical, well, we've got the gas line coming in here. Natural gas, it says that. And then we have, this is a high efficient furnace, so you see the intake and the outtake that are going straight out or up and out rather than a metal chimney pipe. And then if we come back into the corner here, they've squeezed in a hot water tank into the corner, and then we have our stackable washer and dryer. Nothing wrong with this. It's technically, we can advertise it as main floor laundry. The only other thing that I will say, because we happen to be standing here, is I actually don't like, no surprise, front load washers for rentals. And the reason for that is there's that gasket. Okay, so this is the dryer and this is the washer. And we have a gasket down here. And if you have one of these in your own house, I used to, it's constantly getting moldy. So who's responsible? Now you could say in your rules and regulations, oh, you have to wipe that dry every single time. That's not going to happen. So then eventually you're going to get a complaint from the tenant saying that the clothes are turning out moldy. So for me, we've actually swapped out into top loading washers in most of my personal rentals, and that's what I recommend for any landlord. I just find there's too many issues. You can get a nice stackable washer and dryer set from Home Depot for about $1,200. At the time of this video, from what I see, the nice set over there, it's probably about $2,500, so almost less than half price, and you can get an apartment style stackable washer and dryer. All right, we've got 2 bedrooms, one on each side. This bedroom over here, again, not much to say. You've got vinyl laminate flooring, very, very durable. They've gone with a neutral palette. We've got a mirrored closet door. Again, I had done a video a few episodes ago saying like maybe you don't want to put mirrors into rentals, but we're in a pretty high-end neighborhood. This is a very high-end rent. I wouldn't worry about that because I think it adds to the appeal. And then we have a master bathroom over here, and this is a full bath. It's got a pocket door, and again, they've gone very smart with the quartz. Also very smart what we have, and I'll just step in here. Anything for YouTube. One-piece shower. Okay, so they're able to do a one-piece shower because they have the foresight to do that before they framed in the walls. Why is a one-piece shower advantageous for a rental? I think it's obvious. If you've ever seen any of my videos, I'm always pointing out moldy caulking. But a one-piece tub and shower doesn't have that. The whole thing literally is a slide in. The disadvantage is, of course, if you're doing a retro, what are you going to do, right? You can get 2-piece and 3-piece so that you don't have to worry at least about caulking on a traditional tub surround. You kind of have the corner, and then sometimes you have the middle piece there. But on a 2-piece, you're still going to have to caulk around here. So I love this. This is a great choice. All right, so we have a master bath. So now I'm thinking 2-bath, right? We've got a regular bathroom over here. Again, exact same thing, right? So the owners are being smart, the builders are being smart because they're buying things in bulk. So the exact same units, the contractors are used to it, the plumbers are used to it, and everything is the same, including the quartz. So I don't really have many issues in here at all, okay? The other thing, however, in this room, and this is interesting, is we've got a circle here in the floor, and over here we have another one. Okay, and this one's kind of, it's just kind of left like that. So if you're a renter, now you've got two really weird, creepy holes in your bedroom, okay? This is the second bedroom, maybe this is a child's bedroom because the other one's a master. And then you're wondering, what are these? Well, when we look at this, I can see that this is a metal cover, and then we have a clean out. Okay, so that is probably code. So this would be the clean out in case there is anything that happens to, be clogged and things like that. But here's the thing, we can't even close it. So I don't know whether something happened and they did a repair. I mean, you can see that this is an actual metal plate and they glued this on, so that's nice. It probably would have been acceptable, and now you have a tripping hazard. It's really weird. I see a Q-tip in there. It's just, how do you resolve that? Now, we have this one here, so I'm guessing if that's the clean out, this could be what they call a backwater valve, okay? So that prevents, if there's a lot of rain in the street, force is coming in here. It's a one-way valve where, you flush those toilets, everything goes out this way, but when the sewer water and storm water pushes back, this backwater valve here is going to prevent that. And that's great. But again, strategically, when you're looking at this and you're a builder and your plumbers are putting these things in, they're kind of just throwing them wherever the lines go. But because this is a new build, you might be thinking, okay, well, where can we strategically put this so it's not in the middle of a doorway? That one in the corner can kind of get away with it. It's a little weird because it's in front of the closet. If I was able to, depending what I was doing here, and knowing that probably we're going to have a bed somewhere either here or on that wall, if possible, I would have thought, okay, well, let's have it underneath the bed, right? And then you have it in your plans. Like, you have to have it by code, but right now it's in the middle of the floor. And eventually, depending how many times somebody is scraping their feet, cutting their feet, whatever, this is going to chip away. And now you have something else that might have to happen. These types of things, that's just kind of standard tenant wear and tear. However, somebody put these at some point, then it ripped off, and then somebody went to Walmart and put something else. So that doesn't look that great. You can see that this is probably one of those non-damaging tabs, which obviously damaged. So we, have to look at the old tenant's security deposit and see if that was there existing. And then again, as a landlord, do you allow this? Do you not? Or you speak to the resident and hope that you can maybe put some kind of solution in here. I don't know why somebody would want to hang something here in the middle of a bedroom. Are you hanging your keys or you're hanging a towel? Maybe here is a better spot. So I think it's just a matter of finding what else that was. I mean, do we guess that there was a picture here and then somebody was hanging some metals or something? But either way, this is going to have to be painted before we offer it to another tenant. So 2-bedroom, nice. I think just a few things that I would mention, but other than that, really, really solid build, solid quality, and very few mistakes. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video.